What did you make of that, Jordan, to be suddenly appearing on Meghan Markle's podcast as a villain?
The first thing I make
calling women crazy
is that the first thing I make of it is that her voice drips with the same falsehood that the voice of Kamala Harris drips with. It's this sanctimonious, faux compassionate, talking down to her audience and trying to be sure that we're all really on the same compassionate page here, and we're all being victimized by terrible forces that are arrayed against us, and none of that's really fair. And it just grates on.
Meghan Markle does not represent black people in the United States. I don't know if you knew that.
No question she doesn't. Don't worry, I'm very familiar. Doesn't represent anybody.
Of course
other
not.
Than a very elite, hypocritical group of people.
I'm Megan Sussex, and I'm a good person. And I'm meeting another good person today, the wonderful Ariana Grande.
Oh my God, Megan, you're such a good person.
Yes, that's why I'm going to talk to you like you're an idiot.
The 60 Minutes interview was a great chance to hear Harry and Meghan's story, in case you missed their 2-hour sit-down with Oprah or their 6-part Netflix documentary.
Prince Harry and Meghan, we don't give a f***. America don't give a f*** about you.
Goddamn right.
Keep your shows, keep your drama, keep all that nonsense. That's for you British people to fake care about. We do not give a f***. We don't care.
We don't care.
Let me tell you, we don't care.
Harry, get your limey ginger ass down here and clear this up!
Meg does her little phony, like, I'm so busy just doing so much wealthy stuff. I have the show, the podcast, I'm a duchess.
So busy?
What? It was so fake. I was like,
Prince Harry, whose memoir just broke the Guinness record for fastest selling nonfiction book of all time. They're now releasing a version for kids. I don't know if you know about this. It's a twist on The Princess and the Pea. It's called The Prince and the Penis, and it's, What? What the fuck?
I said Meghan Markle is, of course, a lifelong feminist, which she's demonstrated by marrying a prince and giving up her job.
Jordan Peterson did something no one saw coming. He appeared on Piers Morgan Uncensored and calmly dismantled Meghan Markle's storyline. No yelling, no theatrics, no exits to hide behind. The timing was critical. Meghan had already tried to borrow Peterson's own words on her podcast, twisting his ideas to suggest women are brushed off as emotional. She assumed his reputation would protect her argument. Instead, he showed up personally and removed that protection himself.
Raise your hand if you've ever been called crazy or hysterical. Or what about nuts, insane, out of your mind, completely irrational?
I don't think that men can control crazy women.
The use of these labels has been drilled into us from movies and TV, from friends and family, and even from random strangers. And the fact is, no one wants this label.
She played that audio clip believing it would strengthen her point, but it backfired immediately. Jordan Peterson didn't hold back. He labeled it misleading and called out the victim act almost right away.
Psychopaths exploit, and they get a reputation for doing so quite quickly. And then people avoid them and stop working with them. And so it doesn't work over the medium to long run as a general rule.
But that wasn't even the craziest moment. Piers Morgan then revealed his own shock. He knew Meghan before the fame. They talked, had drinks, and formed a friendly bond until the night she met Prince Harry. After that, it all stopped instantly.
I don't want to be doing another bloody segment on Meghan Markle and Harry, right?
If you follow royal drama at all, you can't ignore this part. You first have to see how savage the ridicule became. It began with a show that pushed so hard it nearly got erased. Spitting Image released some of the harshest Meghan parodies ever broadcast. No restraint, no mercy. Then suddenly it all disappeared, gone overnight.
Today, we bow our heads in memory of the fallen.
More episodes have been removed from YouTube.
Clips removed, footage erased, content scrubbed, and insiders say lawyers stepped in. This was the part they didn't want anyone seeing, the moment it crossed the line and had to vanish.
I'm preparing my guests some soul food that my British husband calls a packet of crisps. It can be a tricky dish to master, especially when the packet is being... Oh my God, you've been knocked down by the crisps. So vulnerable. I love it.
I'm just down here holding space.
And now, the finishing touches. A flower.
They exposed her Netflix series for what it truly was, empty lifestyle filler pretending to be meaningful insight. Even opening a bag of chips was treated like a sacred moment. Fake depth sold as wisdom.
Like and subscribe to learn how to breathe, how as a finishing touch sticking flowers on anything means you made it with love, and I share the secret to a happy marriage. Fuck's sake, H! Don't make me get the electric collar out.
Sorry, love. I think my arm's gone dead.
She's instructing people how to breathe and tying flowers to random items like it's revolutionary advice. Spitting Image caught the performance instantly. Their sketch ripped the mask off and showed the real power dynamic where Prince Harry gets pressured and shut down for even messing up a scene.
Place in microwave. What is microwave? I don't think we have any of that. Harry, do we have any microwave?
Are you fucking dumb?
It's a microwave, silly.
Don't talk to me like that, you bitch. I'm a fucking duchess. Shake that off!
Oh!
Damn! That sketch likely went too far. The Duchess breakdown felt uncomfortably close to reality. Spitting Image didn't have the strength to fight back, so they backed down and removed everything.
Hold it steady, you ginger pots! Hello, followers. You know little old me is a high-profile, high-success, global brand-creating, vulnerable, and humble business leader. Which means I no longer have time for my lifestyle show, which was such a hit that I'm now in talks with Netflix to pivot to 6 seasons of no more episodes. I've decided my time is better spent doing less, and so I'll be coming on here to patronize you through your phone.
But that decision backfired badly. The clip spread anyway, went viral, and soon comedians everywhere jumped in, especially after South Park showed what happens when you don't back down. It started with someone who owed Hollywood nothing. When Joe Coy hosted the Golden Globe Awards, mercy was gone. No gentle jokes, no shielding, and right in front of the industry's elite, he aimed straight at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and didn't hesitate.
Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing. And that's just by Netflix.
Netflix invested millions in them, and no one in that room could explain what they received in return. That's why the joke hit so hard. But the awkwardness went further when Trevor Noah mentioned something that still makes people cringe every time it resurfaces.
Prince Harry really did that. At a movie premiere last year, he asked the CEO of Disney to hook his wife up with voiceovers.
This is where things landed. A prince wandering red carpets trying to pitch voiceover work for his wife. Royal marriages once built global alliances. Now Harry's asking Disney executives for favors.
You gotta admit, the monarchy has fallen off, right? No, because back in the day, it used to be like, if you marry my daughter, I'll give you Burgundy.
Empires and territories used to be at stake. Now it's animation gigs and podcast contracts. The fall is so steep it barely feels real.
And now it's like, my wife actually does a pretty good Timon. You should hear her. Come on, baby, do the thing. Hakuna Matata, do the thing.
The drop is almost sad, and their Netflix content turned into pure meme material. Family Guy captured the absurdity of their situation with one joke that said more than their entire documentary ever did.
Sir, your millions from Netflix for no one knows what.
Put it with the rest of them.
Babe, time to do our daily $250,000 sponsored Instagram post for Del Taco.
I shouldn't have left the made-up nonsense.
Everyone in that room understands how Hollywood deals actually work, and this one never made sense. Then Chris Rock pushed it further in his Netflix special. One bit, no hesitation, and the entire discrimination narrative they built collapsed publicly.
Gone on Oprah, I didn't know. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. You didn't Google these motherfuckers?
The Oprah interview was meant to be her defining moment. The chance to prove royal bias beyond doubt. Then Chris Rock asked one simple question everyone else was afraid to voice, and the story started to crack.
What the fuck is she talking about? She didn't know. The fuck? It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
Joining a centuries-old royal system and acting shocked by its views on race is like walking into a casino and pretending you didn't know gambling happens. The reaction doesn't feel genuine. And that's why it rang false.
That's like marrying into the Budweiser family and going, they drink a lot. This motherfucker's invested in slavery like it was Shark Tank.
That comparison destroys sympathy. You knew exactly what you were entering. You just stayed silent until speaking up suddenly benefited you.
So racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, That's not racist. Because even black people want to know how brown the baby gonna be. Shit.
Basic curiosity about genetics was twisted into an accusation of racism. That's the move. Chris Rock spotted it immediately and called out the tactic. When harmless questions get framed as attacks, you're creating victimhood out of nothing. And Chris Rock wasn't alone. Saturday Night Live noticed too and turned it into a running gag.
President Trump also announced a new trade deal with the UK that will reopen British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these.
At this stage, no one's really inviting them anywhere. Rooms go cold when they arrive. Maybe Mars is the next option because Earth clearly isn't convinced anymore.
Elon built electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why isn't he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
He gave up his entire life for someone who, before all of this, was just a minor character on a basic cable show. That's the choice people laugh at. And that's why Prince Harry keeps getting pulled into the joke alongside Meghan Markle and her Suits days.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed.
The updates turn their real life into a sitcom. When Saturday Night Live starts mocking your actual existence, the joke is already finished. And the worst part was, they weren't done yet.
My brother's fiancée, Miss Meghan Markle, is on the American program Suits.
Yes, Wednesdays, 8 p.m, USA Network.
The only difference between that show and this is people watch this.
Her whole acting career came from one show almost no one paid attention to. That's all there is. That's the history people are expected to view as iconic. And that's exactly why the jokes keep coming.
Stop. But the kids are being fussy and not going to bed. She puts on an episode of Suits and they're out. So, what are you doing? Ow! Stop it!
Suits was painfully boring. Only people with nothing else on sat through full episodes. While that dragged on, more comedians lined up. Jimmy Carr stepped in and said out loud what everyone already knew, the behavior, the pattern, the inevitable punchline.
Royal family, right, if you can imagine, they're like our Kardashian. Prince Harry is very much our Kanye. He occasionally dresses as a Nazi, and he f***ed up.
Some decisions never fade. You can pile on charity work endlessly. Certain choices still cling, and everyone remembers them.
Harry and Meghan say they'd now like to split their time between spending your money in the UK and spending your money in Canada.
The hypocrisy was clear. They left the monarchy but kept the cash and the titles. Jimmy Carr called it out directly. Then Kelly Osbourne finished the job, tearing apart the victim role they hid behind.
I think Harry's a f***ing twat. He's a whining, whinging, complaining, woe is me, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems.
She finally snapped. Kelly Osbourne said she was done hearing self-pity from someone born into advantages most people will never experience.
Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's f***ing life is hard.
Yeah,
you were the prince of a goddamn country who dressed up as a f***ing Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
Things escalated again when Stephen Colbert jumped in, mocking how the Duchess acted like she had no clue what she signed up for. As if she didn't know she'd have to bow to the Queen. Next joke was her claiming she didn't realize royals live in castles.
Marrying the monarchy, what did you think it was going to be like?
Well, I didn't do any research about what that would mean.
You didn't do any research?
No. I've never looked up my husband online.
What? Then came Colbert's reality check, sharp, brutal, and direct. It crushed Meghan's fake I didn't know routine, showing her confusion wasn't innocent, it was comedy gold.
Let me introduce you to this thing called Google, okay? Over there, I think it's called Lori. It's full of useful information. For instance, turns out your husband knew Princess Di. That might have been a hint that this was going to be a rough gig.
And wait, that still wasn't the end. Colbert went further, assigning Meghan a homework list of royals to Google. Yes, even her own husband, so she could finally understand what she agreed to from the beginning.
Also, while you're Googling, you might want to try the combo Andrew, Island, and Epstein.
And there it is, Colbert roasted her completely. That's what happens when you speak without doing homework. You get burned. Her fake authenticity didn't just flop, it triggered alarm bells.
Oh, and if you don't Google things, you're the only person I can show this to. It's a cat who plays the electric piano. You had to be there. In 2007.
The mockery turned strange after Harry and Meghan left royal life. Madame Tussauds in London removed their wax figures from the royal exhibit, and Conan O'Brien ran an entire segment imagining ridiculous places they might have ended up.
I was curious what they did with Harry and Meghan's wax figures, so I found a museum employee who's temporarily storing them.
He introduced a museum worker character who was disturbingly obsessed with the wax figures, creepy enough to make the crowd laugh and squirm at the same time.
Oliver, you have generously offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. And if I may, I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex.
The sketch ended on a punchline so awkward and bizarre it left the audience laughing and uncomfortable simultaneously.
They are in a loving home, and I treat them better than the museum ever did. They didn't appreciate Meghan's soft hands or Harry's supple...
Your past doesn't vanish just because you want to rebrand. The makeover looks fake when everyone remembers the original. That's what these comedians highlighted. The same points Jordan Peterson later spelled out clearly. Performed empathy, manufactured victimhood, and an act that never felt genuine. Everyone saw it. And if that sounds harsh, wait until Piers Morgan shares his own experience with Meghan Markle. Don't leave yet, this matters. What he reveals firsthand perfectly matches what comedians mocked. Only this time there are receipts. At first it wasn't just celebrities piling on. The internet joined and late-night hosts couldn't resist. Jimmy Fallon mocked Meghan's lifestyle content and the joke landed because it felt painfully accurate.
What is the number one question that mystifies scientists? Number one question.
Mystifies scientists. Is there life on another planet?
Oh no. Why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why.
That's interesting. She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag.
It's another bag.
And that confuses people.
This, we're just gonna put into a different bag.
Even the pretzels told the story. Turning something basic into a supposed life-changing experience summed up the brand perfectly. Disconnected, overacted, and pretending normal things are deep insights.
Later in the press conference, a reporter asked Trump about Meghan Markle, and this is what he had to say about her.
I'm not a fan of hers, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it.
Wow. Who had Meghan Markle on their random Trump insults bingo card? Anyone? If you're keeping track, Meghan Markle's got beef with the Queen of England and the President of the United States.
Major influencers sensed opportunity. With massive audiences watching, they jumped in and roasted the entire Netflix series, turning it into parody content overnight.
Take the snack out of one bag and then move them into another bag and then label this new bag, even though this bag already has a label.
It was impossible not to joke, calling ordinary habits transformational while simply moving snacks between bowls wrote the comedy itself.
How I prepare water for my guests. Some water that I got from the spring in my backyard. Whatever you do, don't use tap water. I'm just gonna sneak a taste. You flower petal. H is always calling water water.
Pouring flower petals into water because plain water isn't fancy enough says everything. That's the fake empathy Jordan Peterson criticized. Appearance over substance. Emotion without meaning. Selling emptiness as wisdom while being completely detached from real life, that's the performance people finally stopped believing.
Any type of flower arranging is just telling a story. What story do you want to tell? Maybe leave the country. Maybe disown your dad. Be creative with it.
The parodies hit too close to reality. Leave the country, cut off your father. Influencers exposed the hypocrisy and turned the lifestyle brand into viral ridicule seen by millions. Once the joke spread that fast, belief disappeared and Thomas Markle sat at the center of why. Some watched just to confirm how bad it really was, and one comedian took it all the way. Simon Brodkin forced himself through the entire Netflix documentary, hoping it might finally make sense.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs, but now I've actually heard their side of the story, I hate them.
People started neutral and walked away exhausted. That's the effect their content has. It doesn't attract, it repels.
They started off and they're making interesting points about racism and misogyny. Then they start calling each other H&M, and I just thought, oh, do f*** off.
They began with serious issues deserving empathy, then destroyed it by turning into a cringy, overacted couple brand with childish nicknames. That's when goodwill disappeared.
Harry starts describing this one date with Meghan as the night, let me quote you here, me and Em pulled the pin on a fun grenade. I actually started rooting for Prince Andrew.
When your words are so awkward they make your worst relative seem reasonable, that's impressive, just not in a good way.
Harry says, how do you explain to someone who's just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother?
How do you explain that you bow to your grandmother and that you will need to curtsy, especially to an American? Like, that's weird.
And I'm thinking, maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the fucking queen.
Royal protocol isn't complicated. She's the queen. Acknowledge it and move on. Yet Prince Harry acted like basic respect was impossible, turning simple etiquette with Queen Elizabeth II into a public spectacle.
They were complaining that to pay for their own security. They were not happy about that. Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things. After 6 episodes, I wanted to attack.
6 episodes in, viewers joked they needed protective gear. That's how unbearable it became. They started with valid concerns, then burned all sympathy by acting dramatic, tone-deaf, and clueless. Even supporters walked away less fond of them. And the mockery didn't stop with comedians. People in their own circles began pulling back. Remember when Meghan showed up at that yoga studio and somehow turned it into another dramatic moment?
Is this true? Meghan Markle has ruined your workout regime. Is this true? If so,
Yes, she has.
how?
Meghan can't do anything without turning it into a show. Even a basic workout becomes a full PR event. It's like she's always performing for an invisible crowd.
Well, she came into New York last weekend, and she went to a yoga place called Moto Yoga, which is my yoga place. It's where I always go.
Someone had a quiet space to unwind, then Meghan entered and instantly turned it into chaos. One person seeking calm, the other treating every room like a stage.
They have places in LA and New York, but now that she went there, everyone's going to want to go there, and there's not going to be any room. It's going to be harder to get.
And now comes the moment you've been waiting for. Piers Morgan's first-hand story. The one that perfectly matches everything Jordan Peterson warned about.
I followed 4 of the stars of Suits on Twitter. And in 5 minutes, I got this direct message from Meghan Markle.
A private message?
Yeah. And it said, hey, I'm a big fan, and I'm so excited you're following me. And this is
She said to you?
This was about 3 years ago. And
She made the first move. She reached out. She flattered him, pulled him in, and set the tone. From the start, it wasn't accidental. It was planned, strategic, and controlled.
I replied, and then another guy in Suits who plays another character, he got involved too. And we corresponded quite regularly on Twitter, publicly and privately. She began sending me early copies of Friendship Bill.
She kept him engaged constantly. Public posts, private texts, no breaks. She shared early episodes, fed attention, and ensured the connection stayed warm. Nothing faded naturally. It was actively maintained.
Then said, I'm coming to London to watch the tennis with Serena Williams. I know Serena well too. And she said, would you like to meet up for a drink? I said, come to my local pub. We had 2 hours in the pub. She had a couple of dirty martinis and a couple of pints. We got a brilliant...
When she traveled to London, it wasn't random. She arranged it. 2 hours in a pub, drinks, relaxed conversation, carefully building what looked like a real friendship, step by step.
And then I put her in a cab, and it turned out to be a cab that took her to a party where she met Prince Harry. And then the next night they had a solo dinner together, and that was the last I ever heard from Meghan Markle.
Piers Morgan put her in a cab that night. She went straight to a party, met Prince Harry, and had dinner with him the next day, and that was it. Messages stopped. Complete silence. Once a bigger prize appeared, Piers was erased.
She ghosted me, Ryan. Meghan Markle ghosted me. I just think she's a slight social climber, I'm afraid. And when I see the way... look, at her wedding, there was only one member of her family there. The rest couldn't be risked.
Piers Morgan calls her an opportunist and says he has proof. Her father, Thomas Markle, was excluded from the wedding because he didn't fit the image. Exactly what Jordan Peterson warned about played out in real time. When Prince Harry entered the picture, old connections vanished. Her family received the same treatment, cut off, labeled a liability. Jordan Peterson saw it clearly. Fake care, endless victim performance. Anyone paying attention recognized the pattern. Spitting image exposed it and got censored. Chris Rock shattered the discrimination claim. Influencers finished the job by exposing the lifestyle act as pure theater. Simon Brodkin tried to be fair and walked away disgusted. Piers Morgan then explained how she operates from personal experience. The pattern is obvious. Build ties while they're useful, discard them when they're not, then claim victimhood when it helps. People are dropped the moment a better option appears. Piers lived it. Her family felt it. The public keeps seeing it unfold. After everything Jordan Peterson warned about and what Piers experienced, the real question remains, can she truly recover from this?